Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to a quick garage gossip video. A video that I really want to do because I've spent the entire weekend ranting at my other half and I can confirm there is not a lot of interest there. Now, over the last few days, reports, or rumours is probably the better way to put it, have been floating around claiming that Fernando Alonso was offered Pierre Gasly's seat at Red Bull, but that he rejected it, hence why they chose to promote Alex Albon instead. This rumour surfaced in Spanish media, obviously, originally, but has been picked up by a number of others over the last 48 hours or so. It claims that Red Bull approached Alonso during the British Grand Prix weekend to offer him the seat, but the Spaniard apparently responded with a resounding no. So once again, a seat becomes available and Alonso is offered it according to reports. When will people let it go? Look, I have no issue whatsoever with Fernando. He is an exceptional racing driver and is a double Formula 1 world champion, but he's left the sport. Alright, initially he left claiming that he was on sabbatical, but it was only a few weeks later that he was using the term retirement. He is consistently telling the world that he does not want to return to F1 due to its lack of competitiveness, something he finds unappealing, and that he would only ever consider returning if it was for a race winning, or I suppose a competitive seat. So every single time one does become available, or it looks as though one might become available, he gets linked to it. It was Ferrari earlier in the season with all that talk about Vettel maybe retiring, Mercedes have also been mentioned, and now it's Red Bull. Look, as I've already said, he's a fantastic racing driver and I totally get why he keeps getting linked. I also totally get why the Spanish media and indeed many Spanish F1 fans would love to see him back in the sport. In fact, there are probably many non-Spanish fans who would love to see him return as well. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he will 100% never return because you just never know. But there has to come a point where we all move on. Drivers retire, they have to. They can't stick around forever, apart from obviously Kimi Raikkonen. And there is a crop of seriously good young talent now within the sport. You've got drivers like Norris, Albon, Russell, Leclerc, who could potentially be battling the likes of Max Verstappen for the next decade or so. Drivers that teams should be investing their time and effort into developing. And actually that's something teams are starting to pick up on. Certainly since seeing Verstappen's rise to Red Bull, they're investing in the future. You look at Ferrari giving Leclerc his chance with the team. Toto Wolff struggles over whether or not to give Ocon a shot. That's not me trying to take away from Alonso's talent, of course, or even the benefits of having a driver like him on board would deliver. I just think we need to move on and people need to accept that drivers have to retire eventually. As for the Red Bull rumour, I don't believe it, I really don't. For starters, I stand by everything I've already said. But also there were these claims last year from Alonso that he was on the brink of joining the team and that ended up with a bit of a tit-for-tat exchange in the media between him and Red Bull. You know, Horner denying it and making claims and then Alonso denying that and making other claims. So the relationship isn't on the best footing right off the bat. Throw into that the fact that Red Bull would prefer to promote from within and would much rather give an opportunity to the drivers that they've invested all their time and money into, that there is no way in hell that Alonso will be willing to play second fiddle, be number 2 to Verstappen, a driver the team are very much focused on building around, and on top of all of that, don't forget that Red Bull are now powered by Honda. I just cannot see them approaching a driver who spent 3 years slamming their engine manufacturer. It's hardly a brilliant PR move, and why would they want to rock the boat like that? Sure, Alonso would probably help them second in the constructors. But is that really worth ruining the brilliant relationship you have with your engine manufacturer for the sake of having Fernando in that car for, what, a season, maybe 2 before he retires again? I just can't see it. At least with Albon they can assess him for the future and if he nails it, plan a bit more long term. So, I think I'm pretty clear that I do not buy this rumour for a second. And again, don't get me wrong, I completely understand why he gets linked to these seats, especially when you consider that he's left the WEC, we're waiting for an announcement on his future where he will be racing. So yeah, I get it. And I also understand why so many fans would love to see him back in F1. As I've already said, he's an awesome talent and would be a huge benefit to any team, but I do not expect to see Fernando return to F1, and so it's time to move on and focus on the future. Like I say, there are some seriously good young drivers in the sport now. But what do you guys think? As ever in these videos, there is a poll in the top right of the screen where you can have your say. The question this time around is, do you think Alonso will ever return to F1 as a driver? I say as a driver because I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him run a team at some point. But anyway, that is it for this video. Don't forget to vote on that poll, and also you can let me know your thoughts on this latest Alonso to Red Bull rumour down in the comment section. Now, I will be back soon with more content as ever, but in the meantime, you can of course follow me on social media and all of the links you need for that are in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.